Hey guys, Drea Avent here with NBA veteran Rashad McCants. He was a superstar in college in North Carolina. He won the championship there with them in 2005. He led the ACC in scoring. He was also a superstar in high school. I love watching his McDonald's All-American reverse dunk. That's one of my favorite videos to watch on YouTube. So he was a McDonald's All-American there. Just a great guy, super pumped that he came to visit me today. He had a flat tire and he actually came to visit me anyway. So I'm super, super excited about that. It's all about overcoming adversity, continuing to push forward. And you guys know I'm also super pumped to be part of the 10X Nutriform team. You guys know I love the apple cider vinegar capsules. People ask me a lot of times about my hair, my skin, what do I do to keep it glowing? It's those 10X Nutriform capsules, so make sure you guys check those out. 10xnutriform.com, $19.99 for a 60 capsule supply. So Rashad, what's up? Thank you so much. I told everybody you overcame some adversity to see me today. That is so amazing. And I want to let people know, I actually met Rashad a couple of months ago at Gilbert Arenas' house. Me and him are friends. You guys will see an interview I did with him further down on my channel. Rashad was so nice to me. I went there to watch Gil's Arena, which is Gil's new show. Rashad is a part of that show. We're gonna get to that in a little bit. He came up to me and he started serenading me. It was amazing. Like, he gave me a hug. He started singing, "Before I Let You Go." I'm like, my talent is on cameras, not as a singer, but it was amazing. I was just so amazed at how sweet he was to me. So that's how we became friends, and that's why he is here hanging out with me, supporting me now. So super excited. So Rashad, once again, thanks again for hanging out. Super amazing. Well, I want to kick things off with your time in North Carolina. I was a super fan of how well you played there. I loved watching you penetrate to the basket. I loved watching you dunk. My favorite thing to watch was your three-pointer. You had a sweet spot behind the arc that was kind of like to the right or the left of the top of the key, kind of like that top wing area. What was the key to your success? I think you hit 221 threes in your time there. What was the key to your success with that while you were there?
I appreciate the warm welcome again.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely a pleasure to be here and join you. And got a great platform here, so I appreciate being here. But as far as sweet spots,
the sweet spot, the 3-point sweet spots, 221 3-pointers. That's amazing.
It should have been way more.
That's still good though.
I hang my hat on repetition and technique and really just focus on the details of the game. You know, and I think that my time as an early teen, I focused on those details of the game, shooting, technique, and always being fearless, you know, and doing things without fear. And so finding sweet spots was important because it's something that you can do on your own. Yeah. You know, take your time out, get to the gym early and find out where you like to shoot the ball. And I just was able to convert it over and be able to, you know, take advantage of getting to my spots and knowing that I can hit these shots. Yeah,
I can see you in my mind now. I mean, I'm the daughter of a basketball coach, so I just remember that right or left of the top of the key, you were just money. Like, as soon as you stopped and popped there, you know it's going in. Yeah. So it was just so beautiful to watch. You had a lot of high points at North Carolina. You also had some controversy after you left. One of the things that really stands out to me is when you did an interview and you said that North Carolina reminded you, or it felt like you were in jail when you played there. So you said that, and then in 2020, you apologized for saying that. Why say that in the first place, knowing the storm it's gonna cause, and then why apologize more recently, a couple years ago? Just take me through your thought process with all of that.
Well, just to clear it all up, it was never an apology. It was more of a parting of the ways and asking for forgiveness between the two parties. And the statement was made in reference to how well and focused and disciplined we were training. But for me being, I was 17, 18 years old. And at the time, my mentor was William Wesley, who's now one of the executives in the New York Knicks. They gave me the reference as something to think about, somebody that came from poverty and understanding what it's like to have people around you be restricted for things they can't do because of mistakes they made. And so for me, it was using a reference of knowing that you can't go to spring break. You can't go home and see your family and holidays. You're stuck here and you don't have the luxuries that other students
have. Right.
And so
it's a sacrifice though as an athlete though.
It is, but it was also a bad reference for me, not even thinking about how it would
come off.
People.
Right.
I was only thinking about game plan mentality, what I have to do right now, because the reference is always also making an emphasis on when you get to the NBA, you're not going to have this restriction.
Right.
You'll get to do what you want.
Right.
So right now, this is your focus. Is you're here, you're doing this. This is what it is. It's like I'm in jail. I'm just doing my time.
Right. Right.
But once I get out of here, I'll be able to go to spring break. I'll be able to do all these
things that you couldn't do. Right.
And so even though the reference wasn't spot on or hit all the fans, it was something that was taken out of context, and I had to deal with it.
Well, I'm glad that you cleared that up, because there were articles that kind of ran with it in a different way. And the reason why I asked you specifically about the apologies, because the articles, the headline was Rashad apologizes. So you were able to kind of set all of that straight. And that's why we're here, is to kind of clear the air, make sure that people know what you were really thinking and why you said the things that you said. So I appreciate you clearing all of that up.
It's always, for me, I don't really care about public opinion.
Yeah, I know that.
But if it makes them feel better, knowing that for me, my intents are never malicious, especially towards
people that supported you. I mean,
institutions and stuff like that. But they're not squeaky clean, by any means. And I'm not the first, or I'm not the last athlete to refer to the system of NCAA.
That's true.
As, a jail or a prison.
That's true.
Like that. So,
that's absolutely true.
I was the first to break it open and give everybody a context. But now that it's always being magnified and everyone's looking at it now, where you could do a one and done, you can get a transfer portal. All of these things now eliminate that feeling.
That's true. That's true. Well, you definitely were revealed there, and people really looked up to you, loved watching you play. There was a great springboard for the NBA. First round draft pick. 14th pick in the draft, Minnesota Timberwolves. I liked your time there. I felt like there was a lot of bright spots that I remembered seeing. You did battle injuries when you were there. People came down really hard on you during your time there, saying things like they didn't feel like you lived up to expectations. When you think back, you were the guy that actually went through it. So let's hear from you. What are your reflections of your time in Minnesota? Because I liked watching you there. I thought you did well.
When you come from a winning program and winning a championship, to a team that ultimately your first year tanks. And tanks on purpose. Right? So the mentality shifts to everything as far as expectations of me also reflect my expectations of the organization. I'm playing with KG. They just came off a playoff run and all these things. So for me, it was a wake-up call of knowing that it was more business than it was the actual game of basketball. So I had to adjust. And for my time there, dealing with coaches my whole career has been a conflict. And it's been a battle. And so it didn't stop when I got drafted. Dwayne Casey was an old school coach. It wasn't like he didn't like me, but it was more so like he didn't trust young players. He was an old school guy. So I didn't play a lot, but I was very, very efficient.
I think when you were in, you were efficient, you were great, you made an impact.
And going into my second season, I didn't get injured. I ended up having a microscopic surgery that turned into a microfracture surgery. Because the team doctor poked a hole in my knee.
I read something about that.
And so that ended up setting me back. I didn't get to make the sophomore rookie game both years I've been in the NBA. So that would have took my whole career to a whole nother level. And so those 4 years in Minnesota would have changed. But ultimately, I still had 15 points a game. My 4 years, I averaged 10 points. I was the team captain. I was the NBA Players Association representative. So, I mean, a lot of these things people don't know, that I was very in tune with not only the league and the Players Association, but with the players, and I got respect for the time that I spent in my 4 years. It was short, but it had nothing to
short and sweet.
It had nothing to do with my ability.
No, I agree. I thought you did well there. Like I said, I mean, you're not going to be able to please everybody. I learned that as soon as I started jumping into media. So I thought that you did well, and I wanted to give you the platform to kind of talk about what you thought as you reflected back on that time, because people can say things, but you actually went through it. So thank you for sharing that. Another thing that really stood out to me during your time in Minnesota. I usually don't go the TMZ route. You guys have seen my interviews, but I'm curious about this Khloe situation. And when you said he went viral again, Rashad is kind of like the king of going viral. He said that you felt like you would have had 60 to 70 million more, or you felt like you lost out on making that amount of money due to dating her. Mm-hmm. Why did you say that, and what made you feel like that about your relationship with her, that you would come out and say, I would have been this much richer had it not been for that? I think that's interesting, and I think people want to know about that.
Yeah, because people got to look at context of what it is to be a celebrity and what it is to be an athlete.
Yep.
At the time, there was only maybe 2 other athletes prior to me that was actually dating, high-profile people. And
that's true.
Like
that's
Chris
true. Back
Webber,
then.
I think Chris and Kobe dated Brandy for a little bit, and Rick Fox maybe. You know what I'm saying?
Vanessa Williams, yeah.
So I mean, at that time in space, there was no social media. There was no,
it's different.
Reality TV, right?
Yeah.
So
she was new to it then, right?
Everybody was new to it, So it was me and Reggie Bush. So me being the first of down the line many, I'm again setting a trend. I was the first again to do something. So me being in that position, the NBA didn't know how to adjust to the attention I was getting without performing.
Right.
So now here I am on Cosmo. I'm in OK Magazine.
The mainstream celebrity media platforms. Yeah.
Yes. And they're like, how is he getting more attention than us? And we're in a small market. Minnesota, small market. They're not used to celebrities coming to games and stuff like that. Outside of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. You know what I'm saying? So
I didn't realize they were like a staple at the games then.
Yeah, they were sitting courtside all the time. So when I was bringing her to the games and stuff, it was just more attention.
Yeah.
And so when it came down to contract and if you're serious, if you're really the player that's going to be focused and all this, they started questioning me.
Just because you were dating a high-profile person, that's not fair.
But it is reality.
Yeah,
so people don't want to come to terms with something like that being able to happen to someone for the first time. No one's ever seen anything like this. But we just seen Reggie go through it. Loses scholarship, loses the Heisman. Rookie year, plays well but doesn't because he's always in the media. Yep. Then his career
a distraction.
Took a turn.
Right. It's a distraction, whether you thought it was going to be or not. That's what it came into.
Right. So it ain't about clearing the air about anything. It's just a reality of people. If they watch and they see, they notice things that, even for Lamar and everybody else, Tristan and all, you get a certain amount of attention. And if you're not put in a position in a great organization to overcome that, you'll lose because small market, they don't know how to adjust. Kevin McHale and those guys, they know how to adjust to black guys dating white guys. I mean, dating white girls openly in the market where
that's another element, right?
So, it's like, I didn't feel the temperature of that until after the fact. It was like, why do they keep coming to me asking me about Khloe and
because people want to know about her.
But it was more so his daughter and his wife and them being fans and the owner's wife. Now the conversation is full circle, right?
Yeah.
So I don't have control over that.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is just going to dinner with her.
Yeah. But when that spark was there, was that in the back of your mind at all? Like, I'm dating someone that's really out there. I mean, it's going to be different than dating the cute chick at Target or something, right? Like, that there's some clout attached to it. Did you think about that at all? Or were you just more shocked as you were going through it? Initially, when you guys sparks started to fly, you didn't think about it. Okay.
There was no sparks flying. There was none of that.
Oh, there was no sparks.
There was, we met and...
I usually have sparks.
We met, Reggie introduced us and she took a liking to me.
Okay, so Reggie Bush introduced you guys. Right. Okay, I didn't know that. I don't know if people knew that. Okay.
Right, and she took a liking to me. We exchanged numbers. We went out to eat a few times, but during those few times that we went out to eat, I believe that TMZ was called to push the notion that she was dating someone. Yeah. I later found out from her that they thought that she was, her fan base thought that she was maybe a bisexual or a lesbian because she wasn't dating any guys on the show. She was never around guys. So I was that, hey.
Set it straight kind of guy.
Hey, would you? Wow, and then she pitched it to me. When she pitched it to me to date her, at the time I was dating a lot of females, so I had to kind of try to make a decision. And at the time I wasn't playing. I was going through a riff with Kevin McHale.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
And so she's like, let's bring the cameras in, let's change it up, let's force them to play you and all this stuff. And
I did not know that was like, even from an X's and O's standpoint, she was like, let's get them to play you more.
It wasn't even her. She was being told
by her mom.
Yeah, to tell me like, E wants to do a show on you and Rashad. And you guys have to date in order to do that. So she pitched that to me. And we were going to do it. We shot the whole thing, but then I turned it down because I just didn't want that type of attention.
Wow, I didn't know about that.
And she picked Lamar. So the Lamar Khloe show was our show first.
Wow, I don't know if a lot of people knew that. So
no, nobody knows it.
Oh, well, thank you for breaking that here. That's amazing. Well, that show didn't happen, but now what I love, and we talked about this at the top of my show, is you're doing Gil's Arena. And like I mentioned, I was there watching the show live. Production wanted me to come and see it, and everybody was so amazing to me. Josiah, the host of the show, as soon as I walked in, he jumped up and he's like, Drea, I'm excited to meet you. I mean, I felt so... You guys made me feel like I was like Beyonce or something, right? Like I felt so good there. So thank you guys for that. Shout out to Underdog. So this has been going so well for you. You're kind of the guy, kind of the villain, kind of the guy that fans love to hate. You said some things about Reeves that Lakers fans got really upset about. I think you were trending for like 3 days based on your Reeves comments. So you just say what you feel, no filter. How did that collaboration come about? Were you friends with Gil before, when you guys were playing? How did he get you involved in the show? Because I know my dad loves you on the show, and I feel like you're definitely a super, super popular person that people tune in to watch. How did this come about?
Well, me and Gil has been one of my favorite players.
Yeah, mine too.
When I came out, I was compared to him and D-Wade as far as best scenario, worst case scenario in the NBA draft. So I always took a liking to his game because he reminded me of me. And then we used to always run into him at the gym, 360 out here. I never knew he was a Valley guy.
Really?
I never knew it.
Yeah, he's been connected to the Valley for a while.
Never knew it. And so we would run into each other, simultaneously. We never really like hung out or any of that stuff. So one day I seen him at the gym and he mentioned podcasts and he's like, why you don't got no podcast, man? You should have a podcast. And I was just like, I'm not you, man. I didn't go as far as you went. I don't got the validation that people want to see and hear to carry a show like that by myself. He's like, JJ Redick has one, man. And these people, you can do it, man. Matter of fact, just come on my show.
So glad he told you that.
Just come on my show, man.
Yeah.
And so it went from me and him. Basically, he offered me an interview on the show. He interviewed me.
That was on No Chill, right? That was first. Chill. That was Gil's other show's No Chill.
Yeah, we did that interview. And then from there, it was like immediately. I knew Gil was a basketball savant.
He's got a great mind.
Just him giving me an opportunity to let me know he was a real one.
Yeah, he's a real one.
And for that, I knew like the reason that we were compared is because we play the villain so well.
Yeah.
We know how
thrive.
We don't care about the feelings. It's more about the truth than it is about how you feel. So it's
I love it.
No Chill Gil is the type of dude that I always watch and was like, he got no filter. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. And it's triggering. And I like to trigger people because people get to see themselves. It's like, look at you. You're so mad. You're so upset.
Just over, how does what I said affect your day-to-day life? Like, that's what's so crazy. But with you, I noticed, especially like with the Reeves thing, it was like, people were literally like so triggered by that, and it trended for a couple of days. Yeah. Usually it's like you'll trend or Gil will trend for like a day. Every time I went back on there, I'm like, why is Rashad still trending? So it's crazy, but it makes for good on-camera interaction, and it makes you guys people that people want to see.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a love-hate relationship in anything in media, you're gonna win because it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? But it's also, there is no such thing as bad publicity in media. So somebody has to take the villain role, someone's gonna take the hero role. And with Gil, I think it's his first time taking the hero role, where I could be the villain.
Yeah.
And he can be the guy that sounds right. Like, damn, Gil, you got some, man, you killing him out there.
You killing him out there. You putting him in his place, bro.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm cool with playing that role because I get to antagonize. I get to come in and poke. I get to say
it's
crazy
a good push and pull.
And it's like, it's not take the Skip Bayless, Stephen A approach. It's more so like, I've always been better than them guys. I've always been the funny comedian that can play, but also know my shit, know my stats, know the game, break it down, and back it up.
Yeah. Well, I think what's so great about you guys is it's natural. Like the Rashad that I know and the Gil that I know off camera is the same. Like people know Stephen A. Smith is one of my best friends. He was my mentor when I got into the business. But when we would go out to dinner, he wasn't that same, you know, you should have shot the ball. He is calm. He's like, Drea, how are the guys you're dating? Like you, like, so it's different for him on camera. I think you guys are the same. Off camera, on camera, whether you're Gil's Arena, No Chill, you gentlemen are the same as how you are off camera, on camera. And I think that that's a special thing. Oh, it's who you really are. And I'm the same. Like I'm the same Drea, whether you see me at Ralph's or whether Whole Foods or whether I'm doing an interview with the athletes. So I think that like authenticity is like super important. And it comes across really well when you guys are doing the show. And I got to see it live, which was awesome.
Well, take for what just happened, for instance, Skip and Shannon, right?
Yeah, my brother really likes Shannon, so he was really upset about that.
Right, so this is due to people taking things personal.
Right.
Right, so with Gil, I was just talking to my sister about this today. Like,
oh, cool.
Me and Gil have a relationship where it's understood that there's nothing personal that can affect either one of us either way.
Whatever's said.
So it's like, I don't have an ego inside of this thing to be able to say I'm trying to be better than Gil. Gil doesn't have an ego over me because he knows that his career is better than mine. He knows that he knows that it's a tier level to try to trump him. And so for me, when we have that understanding, there's no stepping over any lines. There's, I got respect for you, you got respect for me. I stay in my place, you stay where you are, and we're always
good behind the scenes dynamic.
We're going to challenge each other, right? And we're not going to take anything personal because it's challenge. It's hoop. That's what hoop is about. Never taking it personal.
Yeah, never taking it personal. I love the friendship and the on-camera chemistry that you guys have. And it is time, guys, for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, the segment that you guys talk to me a lot about when you see me in person or you DM me on Instagram, the 3-minute play with DA, rapid fire questions showing you more about your favorite athletes off the NBA basketball court, outside of the NFL football field, outside of the Olympic swimming pool. I have a massive personality. You guys know that's why I started doing these interviews. So Rashad, you ready to peel back the layers? We peeled back a lot of layers already. That is so crazy. Like usually the first part of the interview is more kind of nuts and bolts, but Rashad gave me so much great content. And now we're going to dig a little bit deeper. So Rashad, you ready? This is how we get started for this, okay? Woo!
Oh, okay.
All right. So I know Gil calls me the queen of energy. So you guys you get to see that every time I'm on. But okay, Rashad, I was thinking about this because when I was texting with you, I was actually eating a Starburst. That was my favorite candy as a kid. I used to go through and pick out all the red and pink ones because those are the best ones. What was your favorite candy or sweet treat as a kid growing up? Like something that you were like, maybe it was like in your lunch, maybe you got it from the corner store. What was that sweet treat?
Kit Kat.
Oh my God, I like those too. Okay, what was it about Kit Kats?
I don't know.
The crunch.
It was the crunch, and I think it was the block layers. You could snap and.
Dude, I'm craving one.
Yeah. And I always got the bigger one, like the king size.
Okay.
I needed more than. I
always need more
than just the regular
just the
size.
mini regular size. Cool. I'm craving. I might get one after this interview. We talked about you being the villain, so I want to know. I love villains in movies. Who is your favorite movie villain? There's so many out there. I love Tupac and Juice, Lonzo, Denzel, and Training Day. Who are some of your villains, or one or two of your top villains?
There's only one.
No, there's
He's the greatest villain of all time.
I don't know. That's subjective. Let me see what you're gonna say. Who are you gonna say?
Thanos.
Okay. Okay. Why? Why? Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to give. Okay.
He snapped his fingers, everybody disappeared.
Okay, so the power, you liked the power in,
no.
Because no, if you snap your fingers, that's power.
But it was the reason why I'm snapping my fingers. Like the reason they put him in the villain role. I would say the Joker, right? But it's too obvious.
Joker's face is scary.
Just like, for the Dark Knight Joker, it's like he did too well.
Okay.
Right? And even Bane,
scary.
Bane did well, but Thanos was a guy that it took all of the Avengers and then the Avengers from before that.
Okay.
To beat the one guy.
The one guy. Okay.
And they still didn't beat him.
Okay.
They just went in time and tried to do all this stupid shit.
Okay.
It didn't make sense to me, so it was like Thanos was unbeatable. they put it on film that you couldn't beat them. So I figure Thanos beat the all-time great.
Okay, I love that. I love your confidence on that, saying there's only one.
There's only one.
There's only one. All right, what is your #1 hood movie of all time? #1, mine is Boys in the Hood. It still traumatizes me when Ricky dies.
Paid in Full.
Okay, I like that one too. Okay, okay. What is it about Paid in Full?
The grind,
yeah.
The culture of like what we seen growing up. Hood legends, the drug dealers, the guys who was splurging and moving around. We didn't know how they were doing it. I always looked at
the intrigue.
I looked at the main character, Al Harris. Mm-hmm. I looked at him.
I like him. Yeah.
Like that was my character. Mm-hmm. Like the basketball guys in the hood didn't really want to go do what they was doing. But I ended up finding my ticket anyway. It wasn't selling dope though. Right.
This was much safer. Shooting a hoop, being a hooper, having great hops, having a great stroke is much safer than being on the streets. Well, let's keep it street. I love real ones. People know I love Tupac, Meek Mill. Tupac's birthday's this month. I'm gonna have my camera guy Chris show the picture of me wearing my Tupac tank top when I was running errands the other day. So I want to know from you, what is your favorite Tupac song? There's so many.
Ooh.
Right? I was actually listening to All Eyes on Me disc 2 on the way here.
I listen to it every day.
Oh, you do? Damn.
Like you said, there's so many.
Oh my God.
There's the jamming one, and then there's the serious.
I know, there's like the one for the club, and there's one to like reflect, there's one to chill, there's different vibes.
I want to say Can't See Me.
Okay. What is it about?
Picture Me Rolling, Can't See Me.
I know, right?
There's Bomb First.
When I Get Free is the one I like.
Temptations.
Yeah.
Checkout Time.
I just listened to that. It's checkout time. We gotta go.
What's your phone number? Man, there's a lot of stuff.
I know. I was listening to that. Oh, that's so crazy. I didn't realize you were as much of a Tupac person as me before I asked you about that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm the ultimate Pac fan.
Shout out to Pac. We love you. All right, Rashad, I love when you wear your crown on Gil's show. So I want to put us in a situation where you're the king of your kingdom. And all the people that live in this kingdom, you have the power to do something positive for them, a superpower. What would that superpower be? Like if I was a queen, I would make sure everyone was healthy. Like I would touch them and cure them of like COVID, cancer, like whatever their ailment was. If you were a king, what would you do for your constituents? Like in the Rashad kingdom of glory. Like,
oh man, that's easy.
Okay, everything is easy for you. Okay, what is it?
Okay, so everyone inside of my kingdom would have their own kingdoms.
But then they wouldn't be in your kingdom because they're like they have their own kingdom.
Exactly.
So you wouldn't have anyone.
Yes, we would all be our own kings and queens. No one answers to nobody.
God.
We all share our wealth and our riches. It's no one above anybody else. When you come into my kingdom, we're all kings and queens.
Oh my God, I didn't think of it like that. Like that's deep. Like
it's the only way that I could think of it.
I love it. Like everybody has their own like star power. Yeah. Nobody's above anyone. Everybody's equal.
You can have a castle as big as you want it to be. It is not in competition with mine.
I love it. See what kind of guy Rashad is. So I want to delve into this, Rashad. What is just because I'm even learning more about you, the closer that we get as friends, there's misconceptions about you out there. There was a YouTube video I watched called Inside the Strange Psychology of Rashad McCants or something. I'm gonna see if we can pull that. I'm gonna have my camera guy put that on the screen if we can find that. What's the biggest misconception of you? Is it that some people have said you're a bad teammate, which I don't think is true? I feel like you're a conundrum. I feel like people don't really know what to make of you, even though you're super blunt and you're super direct when you do interviews and talk. Let's end on that. Like, what's a misconception of you that you feel like isn't true, even though you don't care what people think?
Yeah, I mean, even with the video like that, people have time.
It's weird, yeah. The actual the cover screenshot is like the shot of a mind, and it says like, you know, the guy narrating it is like the serious reporter. He's like, inside the mind of Rashad. I'm like, dude, this isn't Dateline. Like they're trying to figure you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't. I'm the hardest vault in the world. Listen, Matt Doherty was trying to break me. Roy Williams tried to break me. Randy Whitman, Kevin McHale. All these coaches tried to figure out what's going on. Why is it that we can't get him to submit? And even for me, it's like, for all these years, it's been, you know, is he crazy? Is he this? Is he bipolar? Is he that? And it's like, nah, I was a teenager. And now that I'm a grown man.
I never got that vibe from you, though.
I'm a grown man now, so, you know, any questions about misconceptions is just people don't know me, and they're taking things that they've heard or read, and they've collectively put these things together to say, this is his resume. Yeah. Even with the video. Yeah. That's a bunch of stuff that's really on Google. So when people, like, if that's your reference to try to find out about someone, is that you Google them and then you make a judgment, then it's not the type of people I actually want to interact with.
I agree.
Because it's like, I don't go Googling people and then trying to find out, oh, this is what they're about.
Right.
Okay,
There's
cool.
more to it.
Oh, I know them now. Because then I could just make up blogs, put it on the internet and say, this is you. I can make up my own opinion about you and it can become true.
But it's not.
Right? So if perception is reality, I've allowed perception to create a picture of me that's not true. So I've never had the energy to go in and try to correct that picture because the people who paint it are miserable. People, they don't know me, they never met me, and the people that they got an ear to or people who listen to them are not people I want to be around either. So I don't really, the people who do meet me, who've heard other things, they literally say, wow. These people don't know who you are. I say, congratulations, you won the lottery.
Well, I love it. And I'm honored to say that, you know, you've definitely exceeded my expectations, Rashad. Like I said, when I walked in and met him, he made me feel so special, so like a queen, you know, and this is somebody that I had just met. I knew of him, obviously, being a sports fan my whole life and the daughter of a basketball coach, but just, you know, thank you for being you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being here today. Again, like I mentioned, he overcame a flat tire and I called him and he's like, I'm on the way. I don't like being late. I still want to be there for you. So this is the real Rashad. You guys got a chance to really see that today. And that's why I started doing these interviews. So Rashad, anything else you want to shout out? Thank you for being here. We're gonna wrap things up, close things up, and you revealed so much today. I'm so grateful.
Oh man,
anything else you want to shout out? Anything else you got going on that you want people to know about besides the stuff with Gil? Let's get that out there.
I just created a mental health holistic app.
Really?
Called Mindset.
And is it out already?
We're still going beta right now, but the mission is to help all athletes right now. We're going to start with sports psychologists and therapists to also be available for athletes, entrepreneurs, and entertainers that are going through rough times that have someone to reach out to. But we also have meditation, sound bowl meditation, crystal bowl meditation, audio for athletes to listen to and have something to kind of calm them down when they're having rough days. And then we also have consultations helping the athletes navigate financial awareness.
That's big,
coaching awareness, teammate awareness, having them understand the dynamics of what mental health has for you in sports. So we want to work with the high school kids, college kids, stuff like that. So that's something beautiful that I'm working on heavy right now, outside of a lot of other things.
Yeah, I know. We were messaging about some of the other stuff that's in motion. We'll let you kind of get that to fruition before you talk about all that. But he's got a lot of irons in the fire as a businessman. He's got a lot of things going on behind the scenes. So Rashad, again, thank you so much for being here. And I want to thank you guys again so much. 12 million total views for me as an independent sportscaster. This is crazy. You guys know me from NFL Sideline, NBC Olympics. I was the lead face for Pac-12 college football. I've done so much, but stepping out on my own, I remember Shaq called me, he told me to do this. I was at a low point in my life. I was taking a lot of L's and I just needed an outlet. And this was my outlet. Meta World Peace was my first guest. Jamal Wilkes started out on a basketball side. Then I started interviewing a lot of football players, Olympians. It's been so amazing. I just want to thank you guys so much for supporting me. This has been such a great blessing to my life. I love you guys. And make sure you guys, once again, check out 10xnutriform.com. Apple cider vinegar capsules, great for keeping your hair glowing, skin glowing, keeping your memory intact, lowering your blood pressure, lowering your cholesterol, health as well from the inside out. So make sure you guys check that out as well. And I want to thank my camera guy, Chris. He is a new addition to my team. He does an awesome job. He's always on time. He's been a great friend. So I'm just blessed right now, and I love you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you guys next time. I love y'all.